We are live. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin. Look at this guy here.
What is going on, man?
Man, just watching the Olympics last week before I go back to school to teach. Went to the dentist today. I mean, just all kind of – it's a crazy week, actually.
It is a crazy week. You know what?
All kind of stuff.
It's been getting interesting here as of lately. We're on our 46 podcasts this year. Guess how many we did last year?
I don't have a clue.
We did 46.
Did we really?
We did 46 last year. And this is our 1 year anniversary as of tomorrow. You and I got together and did that first podcast right here, actually, right here.
We did.
And, man, we've come a long, long way. What do you think, Coach?
I think it's great. I'm trying to remember. I think the first one was on like our top 5 Cowboys or something like that. Or what was it?
Why don't I show you something? How about that?
Yeah.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
And the vet, Ian Griffin.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.
Here we are.
Got the coach today?
We got the vet.
So stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
I'm here with the vet, Ian Griffin.
And we're at the Trump rally at Lake Cypress.
Coach in the vet! Who you got?
Let's go.
Coach in the vet!
And who we got here? Coach in the vet. Who you vote? Stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Ian Griffin.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
I'm here with the vet, Ian Griffin.
It's a windmill thing?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
What is that thing?
It's not a windmill. It's on a Weihnachtspyramide.
She just cursed you.
She's always correcting me. Did your wife do that?
Oh, no, my wife. Oh, yeah, she pulled me out of traffic earlier.
Did she?
Yeah. Come here, Lynda. Why did you Lynda was trying to throw me out of traffic, and I wasn't even in traffic.
I wasn't ready to collect insurance money.
All right, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. Well, here we are. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I've been wanting to say that for a very long time.
We get to take over this week. I mean, what the heck?
I know,
We
right?
threw the guys to the side and said, out of here. We're taking over.
We send them packing.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
Man, and we're finally back with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin. My God, it's been 2 months, but it's been a long time since I heard that rocking guitar. Wow. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, the rocking guitar, I remember doing that, but I'll tell you what, I forgot how fun it was when we went to Fredericksburg with the ladies. That was so funny. I remember I said, man, I think she was cussing you because she was talking German. That was so funny. But probably my favorite episode of the last 46 was probably when the girls did their episode. I tell you what, I laughed and watched that probably more times than any that I watched of ours. That's for sure. There's times I had to say I haven't watched ours after we do it. I hate to say that, but I guarantee you, I've seen that one probably 3 or 4 times with the ladies.
Well, I think that was a great one too. And what I'll say is we've done a lot. And if you think about how we started, I sent you a text one day and said, man, we think a lot alike. And you had talked about, hey, I'm thinking about doing something crazy soon. I said, let's just do a damn podcast. And we kind of went from there, and we were definitely both blind about it. I can tell you that. But we've come a long way from that. What do you think, Coach?
Well, I have to say this much. The name, the coach and the vet, it didn't come from us. It came from your wife. She's the one that kind of came up with that. Because we were trying to figure out what we're going to do with this thing. Because I just got mad about, some crazy politics one day and posted something on YouTube saying, I think I'm going to do a podcast. I'm just sick and tired of, not having a voice. And then that's when you sent me that message. But yeah, the coach and the vet came from Wibke, pretty much came up with that name. So that was awesome.
Yeah. And we came up with a name. We did our first podcast. And our very first podcast, we did it on the national anthem and the flag. And And I got backlash on the backside. I'm like, dude, hey, people, shoot on the front side so we can debate it, But they told me, how dare I even consider talking about the flag because I was not a person of color, and how dare I understand oppression and such like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't serve 30 freaking 1 years in the Army and defended that flag. I was just confused there. But anyway, everybody's got an opinion when they don't want it out public, And so that was our start. And then we kind of moved on, and we really didn't want to do anything big. We just wanted to talk about things to get people to debate back and forth. And we kind of moved on. I'll go ahead and throw it back over to you for a second, Coach. Go ahead.
Well, some of the things that I can remember just from the beginning to now that, you don't really have a voice. You hear all these things, you see the news, and, you listen to talk radio, and sometimes you listen to podcasts yourself, but you're like, I just wish I had a voice. And, it doesn't matter the size of the audience. It's just sometimes you just want to be able to get it out there and, reconnected with somebody like Alan Bailey that's been so involved in some of our podcasts and talking with Jerry Jackson. I hadn't seen Jerry Jackson in years, and you and I went up to see him one time after it started. He had one of our shirts on when he opened the door. That was a really cool thing. But I tell you what, one of the things that I've learned in the last year is politics has gotten a little bit more crazy in the last 4 or 5 years. I could say, I'll call it this way, before Trump and after Trump, that, the racism and stuff that you didn't hear about for a number of years and the crazy things like that has just been, anytime you have an opinion on something, it's not that you have to be careful, because I've come to the realization early on, I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going to stand on the fence and choose a side. I'm going to stand on the top and look at both sides. And by doing that, I've had people, call me out. Oh, well, you wouldn't you wouldn't back Black Lives Matter, so you don't, want to protect Black people. That's not exactly what it was about. Black Lives Matter, the organization, was something that I couldn't, support. But just, it's like, if you don't choose a specific side that someone thinks, and they throw you a tag, as I call it, title, identity politics. So that's the last year. That's been one of the things that's been probably the most eye-opening thing for me, Vet.
Well, I'll say, coaches, I agree. I've been called a racist more this last year than I have my entire life, to be honest with you. And I just wrote an article the other day about Texas Gone Wild, and I think I was called a racist at least 30 times in that. And I'm like, you ain't ever even broke bread with me, dude. So you have no clue about if I'm racist or not. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think the R word, as I like to call it, is, with all intentions, is meant to end conversations and to get a point across. But let's get back to our anniversary here. And the things I'll say is when we started, we just wanted to do a couple of podcasts and do a couple of write-ups. And then all of a sudden we got slammed by the beloved Holy Grail of Facebook, saying, hey, that's kind of political. You have to get an endorsement. You got to put this on here. You have to put this on here. And we was like scrambling around with all that. And as we did, we had to start getting like not a license, but we had to get our business going, so we could actually post something on Facebook. We actually had to do some accreditation process, which was almost like getting a secret clearance in the Army. I couldn't believe it. So we had went where we took off real hard, and then we had to pause because we had to accommodate the rules that were coming in play with Facebook and things of that nature. And then we said, hey, maybe in order to help pay for some of this stuff that we have to do, is maybe we'll do a little merchandising and such. So go ahead, Coach. Uh-oh. I think the coach is frozen. Don't be freezing on me, Coach.
I think one of the
there you go.
I got my coffee mug. Is it better now? Is it better now? Okay. Yeah, I think when I got my coffee cup with the coach and the vet on it, it sounded, or it looked really cool. And then Lynda with her shirt on, posing one day, I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And then my daughters wanted one, so they got one. It's, it's kind of cool to have, your merchandise. You see someone like Alan will have one on, or you'll see Jerry or somebody in a picture of their family at a game or something. They got one on. It's just cool to know that, you have no idea. Like you said, you'll be out somewhere and you'll send me a message. Hey, so-and-so said they listened to our podcast and they like this one or like that one. And one of my daughter's friends that works up at Brookshire, he's a young kid, like 17, 18 years old. She goes, hey, Dad, so-and-so, he says he listens to your podcast. I was like, wow, I had no idea. Tell him to say something, so, even like I said, it doesn't matter the size of the audience. It's that you have an audience that from time to time wants to hear your voice as an East Texan or your voice as someone they might know. And, Facebook is a weird thing sometimes because you have to type what you're trying to say. And a lot of times it's kind of like getting things in a text. Sometimes it can get twisted just because you read the words differently than actually having somebody see you say it. So I think the voice of the podcast for us is, this is our voice. This is my passion. Sometimes I might curse. Sometimes I might get fired up, and sometimes I might cry. But it's just the emotions of the person that you get to see, and not the words on a page or text. I think that is so different.
Yeah. So I will say we took some advice from a lot of people there. We took some advice from Nick Rucker, who was one of my former soldiers who knew a lot of things. He was very knowledgeable. Took some advice from Johnny Coltrane, who is one of my former soldiers. And he runs a page called The Mullet Saved My Life. And he's been very energetic. And took some old person that went to school with us, Jack Parsons, gave us a good bit of advice. Each one of those, we took advice. And for me, a lot of people say, well, hey, you're a retired Sergeant Major. And I said, yeah, and I'm taking advice from two E4s that were pretty good kids, I'm saying, because they know what they're doing, two specialists. And I will say they helped a lot. And back to what you were talking about is I would go to a football game and people go, that's the vet. And I'm like, man, how did you know that, man? And I watch your podcast. I thought, well, I don't ever see your comments. I don't comment. I just watch them all. I'm like, really? And I would say anytime that I got down, like, man, I don't think anybody's been paying attention to us, I would run into 4 or 5 people and they go, we watch your stuff. Or they would send me another thing from the backside and say, man, I love your stuff. I said, I didn't even know you even knew we existed. And he goes, yeah, episode 26, you talked about, I'm like, holy smokes, So it's been interesting because I wasn't expecting any of that, to be quite frank. And I'm just glad people are watching and paying attention to it. And because I think it is a good platform that we have, and because it allows people to come out and talk. And we haven't dogged anybody out that's ever came on the show whatsoever, even if we have a difference of opinion of them. And then it allows people to have a healthy debate as well. So I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I think two of the things that stick out, first and foremost is we've had a very diverse amount of people on. We've had, some people that are Black people. We've had some people that are Hispanic people. We've had people that have been in the military, people that have not been in the military. We've had coaches on there, and we've just had normal people to give their opinion. And we, when we have a topic and they're on there, they can tell us what they want to tell us and debate the way they want to. There's never any script beforehand of saying, hey, we're going to be pro this or against that. And I think that's a good thing. Second thing, one of the personal things for me was I haven't seen someone that I grew up with, not grew up with, but was, someone I looked up to a lot as a kid was Coach Ingram. And Coach Ingram, when I grew up, he just lived around the corner from me, about 4 houses down, just around the corner. And he was my, teacher and coach. And I hadn't seen or heard from him in a number of years. And you said something to me one time about he was a fan of ours, and he had said something about our podcast. The next thing I know, I see him. He sends me a message that he's going to come to the football game that I'm playing for a state semifinals. And he comes there, and the first thing I see him walking up, I hadn't seen him in a number of years, but I knew it was him because he had a Coach in the Vet hat on. And, that made me feel, pretty proud of that. And, it was great to hug his neck and shake his hand. And then not long after that, I think we had him on a podcast, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And we had him on the podcast when we talked about critical race theory. We had him on there and Alexander Oliveira. And great mentor to both of us, to be honest. And he was a great guy, great coach. And I just thought the world of him. And good to get his perspective on things as somebody who's a little bit older than us, because each age group, each generation has a perspective that is very detailed toward them. And I just thought it was good to have him on here. And he was straightforward, be honest. And he was damn proud of us. I mean, he whooped out a picture on you with your socks up to your crack of your butt almost. and he whooped out a picture of me saying I'm the smallest player he's ever coached, which you couldn't even see me in the damn picture. I was so damn small. I don't know what happened to that. So anyway, but yeah, we really connected with a lot of people, and I'll go to like the Rotary meeting and I'll say, hey man, I saw you on this. I'm like, I couldn't even believe that stuff that they watched that. And so to me, that's kind of powerful. And I only want to talk a couple more minutes, but you know, we've done 1 year and we've done 46 episodes last year. And we've done 46 episodes this year. We'll probably bust 100 before it's all over with. And you and I, we've written some articles. You've written the Coach's Thoughts. I've written America Deserves Better. And I've written Friday's Thought to Ponder. And we have our own desires on each one of them. Is like, well, my America's Deserves Better. I try to target either the media or politicians. With a Friday's Thought to Ponder, I try to keep it where I'm more civilized, and it's just something kind of happy-go-lucky type comments. It's not always that way. It didn't start out that way. And you give a good perspective from the Coach's Thoughts, and just like we are not Pulitzer Prize winning authors by any chance. We both realize that. But you know what? I have a great editor, and that brings me to something else I need to talk about. The wife, she chops that stuff up and tells me it looks like crap in all the time. And she doesn't give me an inch on anything on it. But we found out because we put one picture up during 9/11 of President George W. Bush talking to the bullhorn. We put that picture up. Everything has a copyright. And if I put it on my Facebook, it would be okay. But because I put it on the Coach and the Vet, which is considered a political page, rightfully so, I was scrutinized, threatened to end Facebook within 24 hours for us and everything else. So what we had to do from there was to move along and only post things that's why we don't post other videos or other pictures and all that other stuff, is we have permission. And that came to about that you did the own music. You had done it before, but you have done all the music for us, Coach. And just like for you to talk about those things there for 3 minutes.
Well, I'll say this, that, you know, the two things that I have one is a regret, and one that I have to say is, you know, this is something that we're grown people. We have families. You have grandkids. We both have kids at home. And, you know, to have the support of the wives that we have to be able to do something like this is big, because this takes time each week. And, you know, it's even if you're on vacation sometimes, or if it's, man, you got to do something. Don't forget, we got this at, 8 o'clock tonight. So it's kind of a break in the action. So I really want to give a thumbs up to both of the wives for allowing us to, to the platform to do this and the time to do it. And the second thing is, my biggest regret is, I wish, and I know you do too, I've never spoke to you about this, but one of my greatest influence when it comes to history and politics and having that political mind was my dad. I wish anything my dad could have watched these, because not only would he have been, oh, you was too easy, or, oh, you didn't talk about this, but I got a feeling that he would comment, and I would love to hear those kind of comments. And, I just wish your mom and my dad would have got to see this. I really do.
Yeah, I think she would have ate it up. And, my mom would be glued every time we come on there. And she would have been eating popcorn and say, give them hell in. But I would also say this is, if I wrote an article and somebody called me racist, I would have to fend her off, because she'd be trying to protect me.
Exactly.
I had to tell her many times in my military, Mom, I'm a grown man. I know how to protect myself. I don't need your help. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at fighting on my own. I don't need your help. Thank you very much. But she would have ate it up, and I'm quite sure your dad would too. And as my daughter just posted on the side here, she says they're watching. Yeah, they are. They're watching upstairs, probably talking to St. Peter, giving him hell about it and everything else. So,
yeah, but that's my boy right there. I can hear him right now. That's my boy.
Yep. I can sit there and her chin will be sticking up so proud right now. Oh, so, yeah. Coach, we've done a year, and we got a lot more to come. And we ain't slowing down. We're about to pick up the pace even more. We just got back from our vacation. But I got to start it off, and I got some surprises for you here. And I got some guests on, and I told them they only get 2 or 3 minutes, but we're going to extend it out a little bit. They get a little bit longer than that. And my first guest, we've known him a long time. And
wow, this is going to be fun. I don't have no clue what you're doing.
Yeah, so I didn't tell you a damn thing, and I'm proud of that. But we're going to throw this guy up here. I don't know if you know Jerry Jackson or not, but he's never been on here.
I was just talking about the dude. Show up at his door, and he's got a dang shirt on.
Hey, I know, right? Well, congratulations.
What's going on?
Not much, guys. Congratulations on your first year. It's been fun watching y'all grow and put on the shows you put on. And for me, watching y'all, it takes me back down memory lane. A lot of good memories at the baseball fields, because we all three were tied up in the baseball fields, and a lot of good memories, a lot of snow cone fights over the foul balls. But
I'll tell you what, I tell people all the time. Jerry, when they talk about, I grew up in the greatest little town in the greatest country in the world at the greatest time, because you're right. I have so many of my childhood memories are at the baseball park being dropped off, and the snow cone games, running after the foul balls, running after the home runs, playing ball, underneath the bleachers when you weren't playing. I wouldn't change anything of our childhood. I mean, I don't know how it could have been any better.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think about it all the time, being out behind, the press box there playing cup ball with the ghost runners. Then the foul ball comes over the top, then it's an all-out war of who's going to win the foot race for the free snow cone. And Ian and I, we shared a lot of good times together playing for the Sprites. Our first year, we took a beating. We never won a ball game. Then, our second year, we got third place. And our third year, we had the catch. Carl Padgett made the catch in center field to beat BNS for the championship. And Big Steve McNutt, God rest his soul, grabbed me and Ian, I think Dennis and Paul Miller and about 6 others in one arm load and carried us around the field like thought we'd won the World Series, So those are great memories.
You remember back then is the ideal thing for us to do as kids. And this is the one memory I wish we could change. Rangers never did shit. But the ideal thing was to go see the Rangers. If anybody got to go see a professional baseball game, that was the deal. If you win, we're going to take the whole team. And that right there, as a kid, to go see a professional baseball game, we was in awe of that. I mean, we thought that was like that was like eating apple pie, to be quite frank with you, is that right there. And one thing I want to say, not on the past stuff, but Jerry, you was one of our first supporters that really got in there, and you came out and support us from Jump Street, and we're just glad to have you on there. You as a top fan. Facebook quit running that program because I didn't have to think. I could just follow the little program and make you a top fan. But you were the top fan, and you was one of the first ones, you and Alan. And I am just truly grateful for all your support you've given us because you didn't have to do that. You could say, you sorry bastards, y'all are old now. Y'all do your own damn thing. But you didn't. So, and Coach, I don't know what you got, but that's just my personal opinion on it all. So,
well, I just want to say thanks so much, Jerry, for not only the support, but also always making me smile. Love seeing your posts because you're living what we used to live as kids with sports. You're living it now with your own kids, and to see that's what it's all about, man. And I love seeing the basketballers you got. Keep posting it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Josiah, my oldest one, he goes into his junior year this year, and their varsity is going to be tough. They have the leading scorer in the state of Texas as their point guard in taps. So they should be pretty awesome. And Jonah's going to JV, and my little dude, he's 10, and he's playing on a 14U team. So, yeah, we're busy. We're busy.
So, Jerry, before I kick you out of here, because we're all true blue Dallas Cowboy fans, no matter what.
Did y'all get a new quarterback? Did we get a new quarterback? I mean, okay.
We got the broken one back. But tell me, what are we going to do, Jerry? I want to know.
11-6. I'm saying 11-6.
I don't know the score, but we're going to take the dang division. I don't know what Washington.
I agree. We're going to win the division. We're going to make a statement the first game. We're going to beat Tampa Bay.
Whoa. I don't know what Washington's name's going to be. The Criminals probably is what they're going to be called. The Washington Criminals. We are going to kick their geriatric asses. I'm just telling you that right now. I don't care about any other games except the Eagles and the Giants, but we're going to kick the Washington Criminals' geriatric asses.
They should name them Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah.
So I'm just calling it, John Brent. Cowboys beat Tampa Bay first game of the season.
I'm all in on that. Hey, Jerry, we're going to have to push you off because I got somebody
Absolutely.
else on here. Thank you for coming, Jerry, and stay tuned with us here, all right?
Absolutely. Go with it.
Well, I think you know this guy right here. You know, I mean, he's been on a couple of times. He's given the best photo, hands down. Don MacCuish has given the best photo I've seen in years with the Warhammer up his butt. I could not believe that. I joked about that, and I even told my old battalion commander about it, and she goes, "You know, he was always a loose cannon."
It's true. It's true.
Man, we also got to look at that hat.
I love it.
I
love
put
it.
this on just for tonight in honor of the two of you.
Oh man. Oh no, don't say that. But so Don, we're glad to have you on. You've been on, is it 2 or 3 times you've been on?
Just
now?
twice.
Just
I'm
twice.
One of the newest
and we will.
I guess, and
I think you bring a lot of intellect to everything, and we're wanting to have you on a couple more here in a week or two, actually. But so Don, I invited you on just to say a few words and such. So I'm going to throw it over to you.
To both of you, congratulations. I mean, it really is a big accomplishment to be still doing what you're doing. I mean, whatever it is that you start up in life, whether it's starting up a new sports team in the local community or starting up a business, getting through the first year or two is the hardest part because you're trying to find yourself, you're trying to find what works, what doesn't. And just watching the clip at the beginning on where you started and where you've come. First, I've enjoyed the changes in the looks. It's cool to see how you just changed your styles. But just the growth in that is fun to watch. You ought to do that once in a while, more often, because I got a kick out of that. And I will tell you too, part of what the two of you have talked about tonight is, not really understanding the impact of small things. But I think both of you could reflect on your careers and little things that have happened in your careers that you thought were insignificant events, whether it was a coaching session, a mentoring session, just a chat, even at a water cooler. You really impact lives in what you do and when you make interactions with other, human beings and human souls. And you've just scratched the surface of that in your discussion here in the last 20 minutes. It is impactful. And so whether you see the fruits of your labor or not, just trust that there is a team behind you that supports you and that you'll never know who it is you impact. And, that's just the way life is. You'll never know some of the things that have been accomplished by someone else because of the nugget or the thought that you placed in them. Coach, I liked your comment there about, there's writing on Facebook and how it's just not good. And you just don't get the same point across all the time. It can get misconstrued or misunderstood. What you put down in black and white isn't read the way it's written. And so this is a good venue for both of you to bring your thoughts on board. And I'm honored to be a part of it, even though it's only been 2 episodes. I thank you for letting me be a part of it. It's improved, it's improved my ability to think through issues by having to express them in this kind of a form and venue. And so, thanks. And I wish you all the best over the next year.
Well, Don, I appreciate it so.
Go ahead, Coach.
I appreciate it so much. And you are correct. I mean, when you first think about, when you first think about having to speak to an audience, it's a little bit different of what you have to kind of go through with your own thought process prior to, because when, the vet says, hey, this is going to be the topic for the week, and it gets to be the day before and you're doing a little research and like, okay, how am I going to express the way I really feel about this is not sometimes as easy as you first think it would be, but also to actually get your point across what you actually really mean is different, than just typing it out and then coming back and then re-editing it. When you say it, it's out there. And so it's you have to somehow, do that and also be careful sometimes how you say it.
Well, another thing I'll say, Don, is that video clip that we did. I was telling the coach I could only do 200 megabytes. It only gives me a minute and a half. And I had some other parts in there, like when we went to the winery, Los Pinos, we went there on 9/11. We did a lot of interviews, and I had some of that in there. And but Yeah, we've definitely, I'm not saying we gotten television worthy, but we've definitely evolved from the Stone Age to getting to the black and white TV for sure. I can tell you that part. And we've had a lot of growing pains just dealing with strict rules on Facebook and YouTube and things of that nature that we didn't realize is when you buy a copyright for a song, they go, oh, it's still you copyrighted the song. Like, hey, we bought it. You know, they don't count that. You know, some crazy things that you would have never thought of just so we could have a dialogue back and forth. Yeah. We're grateful to have you, to be honest, Don, and want to get you back on here. And I'm going to shoot you some notes on that because we love you and we get good reviews about you, whether you know that or not. Even though we don't get too many to watch it on this feed. But
and even though I'm a loose cannon.
Yes, we need loose cannons. Loose cannons are good.
Yes, you need loose cannons.
So, Don, thank you very much. I'm going to kick you to the curb for a minute, and I'm going to bring up some other guy, and it's not who we planned. It's not the guy that was on there with you. I got somebody else on here first, so I'm going to throw you off, and we're going to bring up, I don't know if you know this guy, Juan Garcia here. Oh, my goodness.
Now that right there.
How y'all doing?
Man, that right there is crazy.
So Juan, man, it's good to have you on. It's been a long time. The last time I had you on, we rode in the Cobra and such. And
that's true. It's true.
And we just wanted to see if you could stop by and tell us a little bit. Juan was one of our first top fans as well. He supported us the whole way. And back when we didn't think anybody was supporting us, of course. And I'm just gracious, and as a fellow classmate as well. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Juan, real quick, and go ahead. I'm sorry. So,
okay, fellas. First of all, thank y'all. Thank y'all for the invite and to be here. I'm very honored. I'm flattered to be able to share this with y'all. I'm very honored to be part of the Coach and the Vet. Thank you, John Brent, and thank you, Ian. And yes, we go way back to the mid '80s, early '80s, maybe. I have followed or tried to follow the majority of the time of the Coach and the Vet. It's just work's been a little bit hectic, and I've been hitting the farm a little bit more with my dad, and we're the only ones here in Pittsburgh now. So been here since '81. I left for a little while, and in the early '90s. Well, from 80 to 84 or something like that, I left, and then I came back in 90 something. But anyway, I hadn't gotten to spend a whole lot of time with y'all, but yes, and I also share a lot of the ideas that y'all share here on this channel. I've been hearing some of the podcasts. I was trying to get ready for this, but I just saw the last guy. His name's Don. He said he was a loose cannon. Well, sometimes I am a loose cannon myself. I do express my opinion simply because, I came through the right ways of becoming a U.S. citizen. I was not born here, but I'm proud of being an American. I've been here the majority of my life. And I'm proud to where I came to live, which is Pittsburgh, Texas. Yes, I didn't leave for a while, but I came home. And I'm very proud to be from Pittsburgh and to have gone to school with y'all. And also with a lot of the audience that listens to this. I have talked to some people that do listen to y'all. They don't chime in, but we do have the same we do have the same values. We have like we were talking with you that time, Ian, when we went on the ride for the Cobra. It was awesome. And I tell y'all, man, I really have to make time to go back and kind of hit on some of these things, these topics. On what's going on with our country, where our country is headed, if we don't get a handle on it, and on some other issues.
One thing I want to say here real quick is, if anybody's, and we won't have time for it tonight, but if anybody's ever heard Juan's story of how he immigrated to America, it is television worthy in itself. What he went through, and I don't know why there hadn't been a director hit you up and say, "I want the script from you," because his story is incredible. And I just remember being in ninth grade Spanish with you.
Jaime.
I was Jaime because I was searching for a name, and I went after my dad's name, Jaime. But Juan, we're grateful to have you on here, and we're grateful you support us. I'm going to throw it over to the coach here real quick, and then I got to get on to somebody else. But we need to get you on here one time just to hear your immigration story because it's just unbelievable.
Sure.
Go ahead, Coach.
I'll be more than glad to.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm interested in that because I don't know the full story, but I love to hear it. And so, yes, Ian, we definitely need to get him on, and maybe we'll have have him on there. Maybe have someone else that has their own story. We could talk about immigration and maybe do all that in one full hour. It'd be an awesome podcast. One of the first things I remember about Juan this last year was I remember him holding up the sticker when he first got the sticker from the coach and the vet. And I remember seeing that. And it was like the first time that I seen someone have one because, you'd had them in and you gave me some. I was like, what am I going to do with these stickers? Yeah, I'll put one on my truck. And then Juan got one. And I thought, wow, it's cool to see someone else holding up one of our stickers. And now every so often I'll get a picture of somebody taking one. Hey, I saw this vehicle and here it is.
Well, I do. One of the things I told Ian about the sticker was that I wanted to keep it. And I'm grateful. Believe me, I wanted to keep it in something that it's a little bit more sacred to me, which is my toolbox. Well, that's where I make my living off of. And that's where I have the pictures with my family. And it's something that is very dear to me, and being a part of this means a lot. And I'll be more than happy to be with y'all and share how we came about to Pittsburgh and all of y'all with all of y'all's everybody, all of our friends, and how I came about to Pittsburgh back, in the 1981. And I'll be more than happy to, John Brent, to share that with you one of these days.
I'll work with you on the side on that for sure.
Okay.
I got to let you go though, Juan, because I got a couple others here real quick. But I'm going to get you on here, and we'll see you later, Juan. So I know this guy here is Ira Baldwin, and he's been a godsend to us because this man studies the crap out of stuff. I can tell you that. And he brings the intellect to us. And old Alan Bailey, he says, whatever you do, Ian, don't get me on the podcast with him, is what he tells me. And, go ahead, Ira. I'm going to throw it.
It's amazing. Think about it. Don, Juan. Can't beat that combination.
No, you can't.
You can't. Don, Juan. And I tell you, where you have one loose cannon, you have two loose cannon, but you have to have a pirate with the featherless hat. You have to have a pirate in order to make things more exciting. I'll tell people anywhere you
got
go.
A pirate hat on, man.
And we're from the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's our hometown mascot. That is awesome.
There you go, Pittsburgh Pirates and stuff. So yes, I've been that proverbial loose cannon because as an enlisted soldier, as an officer in the Army, I was always the one, the catalyst for, I call it catalyst for change. I didn't take crap, but I didn't put crap out there for people, and I spoke my mind. And Ian, if you think, for instance, that you're seemingly the most hated or the racist person around, according to what other people thought, look at me. I've been called everything. My goodness, Republicans are racist. I'm a Republican. I'm racist. I'll admit I am prejudiced for some. I look at people. I look at haircuts, pants hanging down your butt. I prejudge. You could have a PhD. I don't care. But a part of the study, the thing I do, and I'm not promoting the book, but I am an avid reader. I've started some hobbies. This is one of my old favorites right here. You can see it here. Live Free or Die, Sean Hannity. I've read Ameritopia by Mark Levin.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to reread it. I'm currently reading this book, Mark Levin, American. You have to read. You have to read that book to expand it. It's very good. I'm on chapter 2. I tell you, if I wasn't so sleepy this week from traveling back and forth, I'd finish the whole book. But once you start it, hard to put down.
I'll say this is what I found out is most of the time the people that call me racist are the ones who hadn't done their homework and haven't read. So they have a fallback, and the fallback is use the racism word to end the conversation because they have no other. They don't bring any meat to the conversation. So,
and Ira, you'll appreciate this. I had a friend of mine that we grew up with, and I'm not going to name his name because I didn't ask him if I could use it, but he posted on Facebook. He was mad at me one day because I posted something about Joe Madison being very hateful to some of his guests on his show because Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, I kind of said you'd call it the Black Sparrow because he was mean. And he's got all on me about this. And I said, well, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you start reading more? And why don't you give me some books that you've been reading so you can help me educate how you think, and I'll give you some books that would help educate you. Crickets. Never heard another word from the person. You're right. A lot of people don't want to be educated. They want to have what they believe. They just want it to be gospel because that's either what they've been fed or what they feel, but they don't have any background or research to back up anything.
That's correct. One of the things I've done a while back with a few books, and I've given away a lot of books. I'd read a book, I'd put my email address on it. Sometimes it depends. And I'd find out my next friend who wanted it. I'd take it and I'd mail that book to them. Say, you don't have to buy it. You just have to pay postage to mail it off to somebody else. So that way we can kind of track it and see how that goes. Kind of, balloons in the air. But definitely we as a nation, and I have fears every day. I mean, I'm already a chronic insomniac, but some things keep me up at night. But I am very happy to be, I guess, a regular cast member on the Coaching Event, and I've learned a lot. I've met some new great friends. I've learned some things about myself. I'm usually one I can be in front of a bunch of people, have no problem talking. But I tell you, that first podcast, it was intimidating because I had too much information going around, and I'm thinking, man, what should I say? I wanted to limit myself, but you all kept me in the straight and narrow to make sure I didn't, veer outside and go too long.
Well, Ira, I'm going to say this. You've been a joy to be around, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave but before I do ask you to leave, I'm going to make somebody's dream come true, and I'm throwing Alan on here with you for a second.
Oh, here it is. Here we go, Alan.
Hey, Alan, how you doing?
Hey, he ain't got enough time to make me look stupid tonight, so I'm good.
I tell you what, I love your wall back there. I've got a ton of stuff, but I'm too lazy to put it up. And between you and Ian, and great stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good stuff.
Well, I'm going to push you off to the side. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on again. And I'll get you on here in a few weeks. So thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, Alan. Man, Alan's, Coach, he's been with us from day one, and he's been one of our biggest advocates. And I figured I'd have him on here for a few minutes just to talk a little bit. But even when we had somebody fall through, because we have those things, Alan steps up to the plate and is like, I'll do it. I don't care what the topic is. And he just knocks it out of the park. So, Alan,
I'm like the Sandman. Bring me in.
So I'm throwing it to you, Alan. So what do you got? And then I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Jerry earlier.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, it's hard to believe that two guys that I grew up with, and I'm gonna tell a story real quick. I told Ian this. I said it's a shame that it took me and Ian to be 7,000 miles plus or minus away from Pittsburgh to actually come together as friends. Because me and Ian, we ran in two different circles when we were growing up, and it's a shame now to just imagine if we'd have came together in junior high, where we'd have been today. But it took us going all the way to Afghanistan to bring us together and become friends. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Ian is probably one of I can say it without a doubt, the best friend I got in the world.
Well, thank you, Alan.
There's no doubt in my mind. I can call him and tell him I need something done for me in Pittsburgh, and it'll get done. Brent, you're the same way. Me and Brent, well, I bet we played about 5,000 hours of basketball. And then when I see that he's coaching football, I said, wait a minute. All I ever saw this dude do was play basketball, and he's coaching football. That just killed me. But I'm gonna tell you, what y'all are doing is great. I'm gonna tell you, it's made me smarter. Just listening to Ira makes me smarter. So, but coming on here, y'all make me listen to the news, which I barely ever do. Read something. Ian's got me reading. Him and my sister teamed up on me now because I hate to read. But I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you, y'all do a great job. I'm gonna tell you, and people that call you two racist, man, they don't. I'm gonna say one thing: they don't know you. But don't feel bad. I get called that, and I laugh when I get called that. And but you know what? Before I let y'all talk, this is to y'all guys. To a great year. I can only imagine how far y'all gonna go. Keep pushing it and keep doing what you're doing.
Now, I'll tell you what, that right there,
Thank
I wish
y'all.
I had one to join. Yeah, to wipe it away.
You gotta wipe them tears away. Thank you,
I
Alan. I
know.
want to give you a hug, man.
Wow, wipe it. Man, I'll tell you what, having Alan on here is always a good perspective because Alan sits back. I can look over at him as somebody's talking or I'm talking to him and know he's about to just put it in about 2 sentences, and it's going to be very simple, but you're going to know exactly what he thinks about it. And normally what he thinks about it is dead on balls, as I'll say. It's dead on balls.
It's definitely going to be simple. I promise you. It's going to be simple.
Oh, so Alan, I do have to ask you the question I asked Jerry. What are the Cowboys going to do this year? John Brent's avoiding all that.
I was wishing I could put myself on the screen when that fool said 11-6. And I know he's still listening. So
He is. I see him.
You can put some little comments over there. Brother, if we don't go better than 11-6, I'll eat my freaking crock I got on right here. We're going to go, and I'm not going to go out there on the limb and say we're going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game 1. That might be a little much to preach for. But
so we don't go 11-6. What you say?
I'm saying we're going better than that. I'm going to say we're going to go, come on, Brent. Come on, guy. Hey, just because you get a podcast don't mean you know everything about sports. We're gonna win at least 13 games. I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Super Bowl. We're going into the playoffs. We're gonna go deep.
Don said 13-4 also. Don, and he's a Bucs fan.
I'm telling you right now, this podcast has not made me any smarter, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I can tell you right now, we don't have a top 10 quarterback, and if you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you ain't doing nothing. If we go 500 this year, I'll be happy.
We'll go 500. We'll go as far as that offensive line takes us until they start getting hurt. When they start getting hurt, then we're going to be like, everybody sucks. Everybody's this and this and this and this. But
I will have to say, I got to say this. I'm very, very happy when I read the article and saw the picture of Zeke yesterday, of Zeke being in such great shape. So he's got his mind back to getting in shape and doing that. I do think that's a big deal because, hey, if he goes, we go.
Yeah. They're going to both come back with a purpose this year, him and Dak. Dak might be in the running for MVP.
Yeah.
Let's don't go that far.
Hey, just resistance is futile, John Brent. Resistance is futile.
If I had to
just take it how it is.
I'd write it on there.
So, hey, Alan, I think you're spot on. And but I got to kick you off here because I got the last person I got to bring on here. Okay.
All righty, brother.
Thank you, Alan, and I'll see you again.
Is it Obama? Is it Clinton? Who is it?
It's well, I said I'm just going to do this all at once here. I'm going to throw this person on, and I'm going to throw this person on right here. And
wow,
we got 2 ladies on here. So
wow.
I think you know these people. Hold on. I can even move them over like this. There we go.
There you go.
I got Lynda with you, and I got the lovely Jenny. Lynda is lovely too as well. I do apologize for not talking properly. The lovely Lynda and the lovely Jenny on here. So I'm just going to sit here, and they support us from day one, Coach, and I just got to let them talk. So I don't care which one goes first. Rock, paper, scissors. It doesn't matter to me. So let's go.
Go ahead, Lynda.
We might have some difficulties here. I don't know.
Well,
can you hear me?
So
yes.
I'm stuck in mode, and for some reason, there I am. I'm back.
Oh, see, this is right in the country.
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm super proud of both of you, and that we are out in the country. I just want to say again that I'm super proud of both of you to continue doing something that you love to do. We have supported you from day one. I haven't always. I'm holding on my phone because I'm hiding in the other room, so he would know I was going to be on. Okay.
Well, what I will say, what I want to say right quick is, while she's trying to get her signal, is I don't know if you guys heard earlier, but my favorite episode of all of the, I guess that's 92 that we've done totally.
Yeah.
You say 46 and 46. My favorite one is of you two guys. When y'all did y'all's with the wine and y'all did the episode, the coach and the vet, that was my favorite to this day. I watched that 3 times. I know at least 3 times. And I've never seen one of ours more than once.
Oh, well, I have to make one comment on that is people don't know this, but I had to cut out about 50 drinks that my wife took out. No, I'm just joking. Otherwise, but,
not funny.
So I'm sorry, honey.
My second favorite moment is when you cursed Ian about the windmill. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. So I don't watch every episode. I don't. Can you hear me, though? Okay. I don't watch every episode now. I listen to it, maybe not in real life, but I do listen to you guys, okay? Because Tuesday nights, I'm Netflixing because I have an hour of remote control time, and Ian don't hog the remote. But I do listen to every episode.
Ian.
It just might not be live.
He's flabbergasted.
What?
Okay, so
where's the loyalty?
Or the phone is right next to you. Me and I listen to you. I just don't watch you live every time. So I'm going to admit that, but I'm very, very proud of you because I did not think it would take off. I'm very pessimistic. I'm not the optimist that Ian is. Okay. But I'm thinking you're doing a great job and I really, really love what y'all doing. Okay. So keep it going and I just love it.
Well, last thing I want to say, I know y'all didn't probably hear in the beginning, but we do both appreciate the support because, it does take up some time. And you're the editor and we got to have a good editor.
I read every article. I have to sit down right then and there and I read every article before it gets published. Now I do that. So I do that. Yes.
Yes. And Lynda, sometimes she'll listen to some of the podcasts, but just being the support of having, the time to do it. And sometimes we have to, we'll come back from something that we're doing because we're going to have a podcast. And, it does take some time, but Lynda's always been supportive of me, to have an avenue to be able to, to have a voice. And I know that Ian has told me the same thing. It's been a great ride already.
So I'm going to say, Lynda, do you got anything else you want to say? Because if not, we're about to kick this thing to the curb, and it's been a great 1 year. But go ahead, Lynda. What do you got?
Lynda's in stuck mode.
Yep. She's going to come over and slap you in the back of the head in a minute.
Well, I wish she'd come over here because then we could actually hear.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There she goes. I can hear her now.
We'll drink wine again on the next one.
Pretty much that again. Saying I am.
We're losing you, Lynda.
Yes. Because the sound keep cutting out on me.
Yeah, we're losing you. So
wrap it up.
All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm just going to say this. It's been a great podcast. It's been a great year, and we're not done yet. We still got a little ways to go. Oh, she's coming over. Go ahead, Lynda. Tell it to us.
I give up on the other part. I'm still down there on the screen, by the way.
Yep.
Anyway, I just want to say I'm super happy with what y'all have done, that you continue to voice your opinions, despite what people say. But it also gives me a lot of room for growth and thought. And even though he says I don't listen, there are a lot of times I do listen that he doesn't know. I sit in the car, I listen to the podcast, I listen to it. But it does make you think, it does make you grow. And I think it's a great avenue to do that.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to close this out here, and I'm going to say, from the coach and the Mrs. Coach and Mrs. Griffin.
And to the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin and Miss Wibke.
It's time to stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. And here we go.
So